Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we have an exciting topic to delve into, the incredible life and conquests of Alexander the Great. We'll explore his origin story, his journey from a youth to a legendary leader, the lands he conquered, his military tactics, and even his downfall. Before we dive in, kindly like the video, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to hit the bell icon for our next video update. His origin story, in the heart of Pella, Macedonia. The year 356 BC bore witness to a momentous event, the birth of a prince who would become the embodiment of legendary greatness. Queen Olympias, with an air of mystique surrounding her, welcomed her son, Alexander, into the world during a violent thunderstorm. The heavens seemed to proclaim the significance of this birth, echoing the whispered prophecies that spoke of a future conqueror. As the newborn's cries mingled with the thunder, it was as though destiny itself had etched a path for him. Alexander's early years were a tapestry of privilege and promise. Raised in the opulent surroundings of the royal palace, his education was entrusted to the brilliant philosopher Aristotle. Under Aristotle's guidance, the young prince's mind blossomed, and his love for wisdom and knowledge deepened. Yet, he was not confined to the halls of academia. In the Macedonian tradition, Alexander embraced the art of war. He sparred with seasoned warriors, becoming a masterful swordsman and cavalryman. These early years molded him into a prince of both intellect and martial prowess. As Alexander ventured beyond the palace walls, the eclectic court introduced him to the diverse cultures of the world. It was in this melting pot that he developed a fascination with distant lands and peoples, sowing the seeds of his future ambitions. Time as a youth, under the tutelage of Aristotle, Alexander's formative years were marked by a thirst for knowledge and a profound respect for philosophy. Aristotle's teachings opened a world of ideas and critical thinking to the young prince. Within the palace's hallowed halls, Alexander delved into the works of the great philosophers, including Plato and Socrates. These texts ignited his intellectual curiosity, shaping his belief in the power of reason and the pursuit of wisdom. But Alexander was not content with mere scholarly pursuits. In a society that celebrated both intellect and martial prowess, he embraced the duality of his upbringing. While mornings were dedicated to the study of ethics and rhetoric, afternoons saw him on the training grounds, refining his skills in combat, horsemanship, and archery. Aristotle's influence was not limited to the classroom. He nurtured in Alexander a love for the natural world, fostering an appreciation for biology and the sciences. This holistic education instilled in the young prince a deep respect for the interconnectedness of all knowledge. Way of life. Alexander's upbringing was a delicate balance between the realms of the mind and the battlefield. Guided by Aristotle's wisdom, he developed a profound respect for philosophy and a thirst for intellectual pursuits that set him apart from his peers. In the quiet moments of contemplation, Alexander explored the depths of human thought, delving into questions of ethics, morality, and the nature of existence. He began to see the world through the lens of reason, understanding that knowledge and wisdom were powerful tools. Yet, he was not merely a scholar. The heart of a warrior beat within Alexander's chest. His father, King Philip II, ensured that he received rigorous training in the art of war from a young age. He sparred with the best soldiers in the kingdom, becoming a master of combat techniques. The martial traditions of Macedonia became an integral part of Alexander's identity. He reveled in the vigorous lifestyle of a warrior, honing his skills in horsemanship, archery, and battlefield strategy. The values of courage, honor, and martial prowess permeated his way of life, forging his character. As he matured, Alexander embodied the ideal of a prince who was both a philosopher and a warrior. His ability to harmonize these seemingly contrasting aspects of his education would become a hallmark of his leadership, allowing him to not only conquer nations but also inspire his soldiers with his intellectual depth. Journey into power. In 336 BC, fate took an unexpected turn in the Macedonian court. News of King Philip II's assassination reverberated through the kingdom, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the land. Suddenly, the weight of an empire and the destiny of a nation fell upon the young shoulders of Alexander. At just 20 years of age, Alexander ascended to the throne of Macedonia. His father's dream of conquering Persia and expanding the Macedonian Empire was now his responsibility. The transition from prince to king was swift, and the burden of power weighed heavily upon him. However, Alexander was not one to shy away from his destiny. He embraced his newfound role with an unwavering determination to fulfill his father's vision. The memory of King Philip's dream, of uniting Greece and launching a campaign against the mighty Persian Empire, fueled Alexander's ambition. With the support of loyal advisors and generals who had served his father, Alexander began to plan his audacious campaign. The journey into power was not just about ascending the throne. It was about embarking on a quest that would test his mettle, challenge his intellect, and shape the course of history. The young king was determined to prove himself not only as a capable ruler but also as a brilliant military strategist. As he gazed out from the palace that had been his home and sanctuary, he knew that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges and uncertainties. But Alexander was ready to step onto the world stage and leave an indelible mark on the annals of history. Lands that he conquered, with the mantle of power firmly on his shoulders, Alexander embarked on a relentless series of military campaigns that would expand the boundaries of his empire to unprecedented levels. His ambition knew no bounds, and the lands he conquered became a testament to his unwavering determination. The conquests began with the subjugation of Greece, where Alexander sought to unify the Greek city-states under his leadership. He met resistance, but his military acumen and strategic brilliance soon prevailed. Greece, the land of his birth, became the cornerstone of his dominion. From there, Alexander turned his gaze eastward, toward the Persian Empire, the world's most formidable superpower of its time. The battles that followed would become the stuff of legends. At the Battle of Issus, he faced the Persian king, Darius III, and emerged victorious, solidifying his reputation as an invincible commander. But it was the capture of the ancient city of Babylon and the surrender of Susa and Persepolis that marked the zenith of his conquests. These cities, teeming with treasures and riches, fell under Alexander's control, adding immeasurable wealth to his burgeoning empire. As he ventured further east, into the heart of Asia, Alexander's army encountered diverse cultures, languages, and landscapes. His campaigns took him through the arid deserts of Persia, across the rugged terrain of Central Asia, and even to the banks of the mighty Indus River in India. His insatiable thirst for exploration and conquest led him and his army to the very edges of the known world. They traversed mountains, crossed rivers, and endured harsh climates, all in the pursuit of expanding the Macedonian Empire. Alexander's conquests were not merely territorial, they were also cultural. His policy of Hellenization sought to blend Greek culture with the traditions of the conquered lands. This fusion of cultures gave rise to a cosmopolitan world, where art, literature, and philosophy thrived. Yet, the relentless pace of conquest came at a cost. The physical and mental toll on his soldiers was immense, and as they ventured further east, dissent and weariness began to sow seeds of discontent within the ranks. Despite the challenges and the vastness of his empire, Alexander's insatiable ambition pushed him ever onward. The lands he conquered were a testament to his indomitable will and his vision of a world united under Macedonian rule. Military tactics. One of the defining aspects of Alexander the Great's legacy was his unparalleled brilliance as a military strategist. His conquests were not merely the result of brute force. They were a testament to his innovative military tactics and adaptability on the battlefield. At the core of Alexander's military doctrine was the concept of combined arms warfare. He recognized that success on the battlefield required coordination between different types of troops, and he mastered the art of bringing together infantry, cavalry, and siege engines into a cohesive and formidable force. One of his most famous innovations was the use of the Macedonian phalanx formation. This formation consisted of heavily armed infantry soldiers, known as hoplites, who wielded long spears and fought in close formation with overlapping shields. This formation provided both offensive and defensive advantages, allowing his troops to withstand enemy charges while advancing steadily. Alexander also understood the importance of cavalry in warfare. He raised and trained a fearsome cavalry force known as the Companion Cavalry, led by commanders like Hephaestion and Bucephalus. This elite unit was renowned for its speed, maneuverability, and shock tactics. They could charge enemy lines with devastating impact, disrupting formations and sowing chaos. In addition to traditional tactics, Alexander was a master of improvisation and adaptation. He had a keen understanding of terrain, weather, and the strengths and weaknesses of his opponents. This adaptability allowed him to tailor his strategies to the specific challenges presented by each campaign. One of the most iconic examples of Alexander's tactical genius was the Siege of Tyre. When faced with the heavily fortified island city of Tyre, he devised an audacious plan to build a causeway connecting the mainland to the island, allowing his forces to breach its formidable walls. It was an engineering marvel and a testament to his determination. Alexander's tactics weren't limited to the battlefield. They extended to his ability to inspire and lead his troops. He led by example, sharing the dangers and hardships of his soldiers. His charisma and personal bravery instilled unwavering loyalty in his troops, who were willing to follow him to the ends of the earth. These innovative military tactics, combined with Alexander's ability to adapt and his charismatic leadership, made him a nearly unbeatable commander. His genius on the battlefield allowed him to achieve victories against numerically superior foes and conquer vast territories. How long did he rule? Alexander the Great's meteoric rise to power and his relentless conquests had reshaped the map of the known world. But while his rule was marked by extraordinary achievements, it was also defined by its brevity. From the moment he ascended to the throne of Macedonia in 336 BC until his untimely death in 323 BC, Alexander ruled for just 13 short years. Yet, in that relatively brief period, he had managed to accomplish what many deemed impossible. His conquests had spanned vast territories, including Greece, Egypt, Persia, and parts of India. The empire he had built was a patchwork of diverse cultures, united under the banner of Macedonian hegemony. It was a testament to his ambition and military prowess. But as Alexander's empire grew, so did the strains on his leadership. The challenges of administering such a vast realm, maintaining the loyalty of his troops, and managing the integration of conquered peoples into a unified whole were immense. The toll of his campaigns, both physically and mentally, had taken its toll on Alexander. He had suffered injuries in battle, and his health was increasingly fragile. The burden of leadership weighed heavily on him, and the pressures of ruling such a vast empire were unrelenting. In 323 BC, while in the city of Babylon, Alexander fell seriously ill. His condition rapidly deteriorated, and he knew that his end was near. As he lay on his deathbed, the man who had conquered the world contemplated his legacy. Downfall. The death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC sent shockwaves throughout the known world. The man who had conquered vast territories, reshaped cultures, and left an indelible mark on history had succumbed to an unknown illness at the young age of 32. As he lay on his deathbed in the grand city of Babylon, the world around him seemed to hold its breath. The empire he had built with relentless ambition was now left without its guiding force. The generals and leaders who had served under him, the same men who had witnessed his audacious campaigns and shared in his victories, now faced a moment of profound uncertainty. With Alexander's death, the question of succession loomed large. The young king had not designated a clear heir, and the power vacuum created by his passing set the stage for a complex and tumultuous period in history known as the Wars of the Diadochi, or the Wars of the Successors. His empire, once a unified realm stretching from Greece to India, fragmented into a series of successor states, each led by one of Alexander's trusted generals. Ptolemy took control of Egypt, Seleucus established the Seleucid Empire in Asia, and Antigonus ruled over a portion of Asia Minor, among others. These successors, or Diadochi, as they were called, engaged in a series of power struggles and conflicts as they vied for control of the vast territories that Alexander had conquered. The wars of the Diadochi were characterized by shifting alliances, battles for dominance, and the continual reconfiguration of boundaries. Conclusion. In conclusion, Alexander the Great was a remarkable figure in history, whose achievements continue to inspire people to this day. His origin story, youth, way of life, journey into power, conquests, military tactics, and ultimately his downfall, all contribute to the rich tapestry of his life. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the life of one of history's most legendary conquerors. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give a comment for more fascinating historical content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.